bring out and pay attention in their music so that we're not just reading the black and white page, but realize that music is really something that comes from within you. Sonja has a couple, 3 pieces here that I really like very well. Her first one is called Tumble Track by Diane Heidi. Do you want to tell them a little bit what this picture images that this music is telling? Yeah. And you'll hear, hopefully, that you spot it. That it's a story of tumbling acrobats, gymnastics, and by the use of a lot of the runs and the skips in the music, that kind of a use of music really will help give that sensation when they're doing their tumbling and their cartwheels and things. And again, hers, we work with a musical format. Musical form follows an ABA musical form. That's very typical. So I think when you're listening to her as she plays through, you're going to hear the first and the alternate, and return to the first melody. So Sonja, you ready? Again, this is a fun one that I think you're really just going to hear the juggling act as she plays through the music and utilizes her keyboard and the movements across the keyboard with it. By Joseph Kufner, who was a German composer, and I think that's during the classical period, yes. Sonatina, this is a new introduction of something new musical to Sonja at this level. Sonatinas follow a first movement, a second movement, sometimes a third movement, because as you progress as a pianist, you think it more complicated. There's a lot of them out there. I love to play sonatinas. Hers has a first and a second movement. And the different movements always have their own personality, their own characteristic. Kind of like when we talk about our ABA music forms, it's sort of the same description as music form, except it's the whole movement of the piece. So sonatinas, that's what's characteristic of them. Her first movement will be a very lively movement, and then when she moves to the second movement, it actually changes. First one's in 4/4 time, the second one is in 3/4 time, and is a very more slow movement. So with that being said, we'll play the miniature sonatina. miniature sonatina that as they progress from where they began to about where they're at with the level of moving on is originally on the piano you're kind of playing in what we call a 5-finger position. You're playing like 5 notes all right in that range. As you progress, of course, we have 88 keys on the keyboard, and you have to start learning to make reading your finger numbering and how to move your hands, recognize and move your hands. And that one required, that miniature sonatina had a lot of, particularly, I think it was the left hand, moving back and forth. And I was really very pleased when Sonja started working on this piece that, the first week she practiced and brought it back to me, she had caught on to that really quickly. Because some students, it takes them a while to get used to that. And another thing she did very well with is the difference between the louds and the softs. And that's another thing. Sometimes students kind of forget that, and they play their songs all one volume. But as you can see, the volume is part of, the dynamic is part of, what's going to be expressing the song. And as we moved into that second movement, it was definitely a slower, more quiet piece, and she was able to make the piano talk softly, and did very well with that. Okay, your last piece is Shepherd's Song, and it is a Beethoven piece from his 6th Symphony. Most of you adults might be a little more familiar with Beethoven than the kids usually are. His 6th Symphony is also the one known as a Pastoral Symphony. There's some very beautiful music throughout the movements of the 6th Symphony. And this one is, at our level we call it Shepherd's Song. It's the Pastoral Song. And it's just a very calm, very gentle, you're in a very peaceful place when you hear this song. Do you remember what kind of picture that we kind of imagine when we play this? Yeah. Definitely, my mind, because it's pastoral, being the pasture setting. You think of, maybe the sheep out there in the meadows, just a very quiet, rural, very gentle setting. And so she will